What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how we doing on this fine day?
I'm doing good, man. Yankees took another series, so that is good. Although, for like the millionth year in a row, I have to file a complaint with MLB because these weekday day games have to stop. I know it's not just my life they're messing up. Like, yo, we all got jobs. We all got things we got to do. Wednesday game at 1 o'clock, that's tough. Though I was able to watch, and it was a good time. Yankees are looking good, Pat. So I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, no, I agree. The weekday day games are abysmal. I don't know who they benefit, but yo, people like us who work from home, dude, not much to complain.
It could
Uh,
be worse. You're right. You're right.
but yeah, dude, a lot of stuff going right in Yankee land and a lot of stuff going right in Yankees Avenue land. We're doing another ticket giveaway, Dan. In order for you guys to enter, be sure to follow Yanks Av Show on Twitter, and then be sure to like and retweet the tweet that we just put out announcing the ticket giveaway, and then DM us with confirmation. And then
Tell
you're
them what the
entered,
matchup is, Pat. Quite a big
Yankees.
return, man. Quite a big return for my cousin Joey Gallo, his first day back in
He's
the
not your
Bronx.
cousin. He's
He
not
is.
your
No, I swear to God, not by blood. I'm not playing. He is legitimately my cousin. I'm not
Sure.
kidding.
So the game is next Thursday, April 13th. It is a 7:05 game. None of that weekday day game garbage. It's Joey Gallo's first game back in the Bronx. Carlos Correa on the Twins too, bro.
Yeah.
Should be a good game. Bro, also the weather is supposed to be so nice in the 70s. So it should be a good game. Be sure, once again, follow Yanks App Show on Twitter, like, retweet, whatever you want to do, and then DM us with confirmation. There it is.
Word. Yo, let's talk some Yankees baseball. What do you say? Also, shout out Foco. We're presented by them. Talk about
Shout out.
them a little bit later. But yo, let's get into some baseball. What do you say?
Yeah. Dan, I think we kind of have to start things off by talking about the man of the weekend, the man of the week, the man of
Man
the
of season so far, bro.
That's Gleyber friggin' Torres. I would say by far he's kind of been the Yankees' most impressive hitter. And entering the season, we had so much to talk about regarding Gleyber. It's like, what Gleyber Torres were we going to get coming into the season? And now I think we can ask the question, is this the real Gleyber Torres? Or is he kind of just putting up one of those like insanely hot streaks that we see from him sometimes? And then next month he's going to bat like 100.
All right. So of course, I'm the glass half full guy. So I'm gonna go with yes, this is the real Gleyber Torres, but mostly in part to a point that I've made for quite some time now, particularly going back to last year, that for 5 out of the 6 months, Gleyber Torres, that was the best version that we've ever seen of him, including 2018 and 2019. Had that bad month, we know, but yo, I think he's really picking up where he left off from the end of last year, where he got back on track, because he's looking phenomenal, dude. First of all, I want to shout out before anything, the defense still looks really good. Hasn't had like any amazing plays, but he just seems so much more confident at second base. And like, I feel like we continue to see that as he spends more time there. But yo, the bat, 421 average, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Most impressive to me, bro. And this is the reason why I think, yeah, we might be seeing the best version of Gleyber right now, is that 10 pitch at or 10-9, whatever it was, against Aaron Nola. Wow, is that impressive. It was a 1-0 game. Yankees needed insurance. And Gleyber had already driven in the first run early in that game. And then he's battling against Nola. And really nobody else was hitting him too. 9-10 pitches in, finally gets a pitch he can drive right up the middle. Thankfully, no shift, RBI single. Double also later in the game, off the wall, 2 stolen bases, now has 5 on the season, which I'm pretty sure leads the American League. Best version of Gleyber Torres, Pat, that I think we've ever seen. And I think it's for real, dude. I really do. I'm excited about it. He's been the best player so far, including Judge, which is crazy. I know it's 6 games. But
I respect it. I respect it tremendously. And bro, I don't think we could have asked for a better start from Gleyber Torres to start the season so far. However, I'll take the opposite perspective and view it like glass half empty, just in terms of I want to see more of this, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is the real Gleyber Torres, because we haven't seen like that sustained success so far, right? If it's like the end of April now and he's still putting up these numbers and he's still just being this version of Gleyber Torres, yeah, I think that we can say that like that's the real version of him. However, right now, I think I can't jump to any certain conclusions just yet after 6 games through the season. But yeah, I mean, I think I would be lying to say that this isn't promising, right? I think that this is exactly what we need to see from Gleyber Torres to start the season. And maybe it's because there's not any trade rumors floating around regarding his name. But as of right now, I think it's very fair for someone to say that like this could be the real Gleyber Torres.
yeah, and of course, obviously we're not expecting him to hold the 1.3 OPS the whole year, but I don't know, maybe to put it out there, kind of going back to the season previews we did before the season started. Like, what do we expect? Like, what would you consider to be an A year from a 25-year-old Gleyber? To me, I think he's very capable of batting 280. I think he's headed for a 30-plus homer season. And dude, I mean, career high is 14 stolen bases. What if he eclipses 20? That with a good defense, man. I mean, it's kind of a lock. Gleyber's going to be a 5-WAR player this year if he stays healthy. Even last year with that bad month was a 4-WAR second baseman. So, I mean, all of a sudden, man, it really has me excited that we kind of wrote this. A lot of people, and myself included, I'm guilty of this. Like, we wrote Gleyber off a little bit, 2020 happened, 2021 happened, and then we kind of forget, like, this dude was going to be a huge piece, a huge, ginormous piece of this core. And is he back now? All of a sudden, bro, you see Gleyber Torres batting 4th or 5th. It's like, I'm not bummed about that. Whereas a year ago, I kind of would be, or 2021.
Sure. But you say, like, we wrote him off as, like, a bad thing. Like, I think it was very fair to write Gleyber Torres.
I don't think that it's that fair. I don't think it's that egregious either. But the way I see it, and the reason I'll knock myself is
because we still can't.
In the end, no. In the end, well, hold on. I think the reason why I would say it's a little much to have written him off is because he's still very young. I mean, he was 23, 24 having these down years. It's not like he was like Aaron Hicks to where 31, 32. It's like, all right, how's he really coming back from this? Which we'll talk about him later. With Gleyber, man, he's still technically not in his prime. So he just now could be figuring it out. And also, I mean, the shortstop mental thing, he has that off his back. I think if Gleyber can cement himself as a Yankee, maybe bring up those extension talks, I'm not sure. If he were to solidify like his future here too, I think we're going to get an even better player. So I think this may just be the start of what we're going to see from Gleyber moving forward. And it's exciting. It really, really is, dude, because we get him for this year and next still.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm here for it. And I think also maybe part of it could be with like, maybe the balls are back juiced, bro. I saw a lot of people talking about like, maybe the balls are juiced again this season because we're seeing such a rise in offense to start the season, especially power-wise. You got a lot of people asking questions like, has MLB juiced the balls again? And if they did, this is Gleyber's time to shine.
Dude, I'm all for that. And if that's true, props to MLB, because that in a way is the perfect storm of action. I mean, you have all these new rules that come into play, more speed, more stolen bases, more defensive. And then you have home runs going off like crazy like they were in 18-19. That might be the perfect game right now.
If there was any time for them to do it, it would be now, right? Because there were so many people that were like skeptical of these rule changes coming into the season. And now if you like match like the faster paced games with an insane amount of offense, it's a deadly combo for
Major League Baseball. I don't dispute that the balls might be juice. I mean, I'm not sure there's any evidence out there, but like I would not be shocked. I don't know why, first of all, why you shouldn't be toying with the ball to begin with, but like, why would I ever take it away? Why would you do that?
I know.
Like, since when is less offense a good thing? I mean, when baseball was at its peak was when that offense was at its highest numbers. They're in steroid era. So, like, I don't know. We got to move on, but interesting. Yeah. Very interesting.
But yeah, getting into topic number 2, Dan, let's talk about Josh Donaldson a little bit because we were kind of giving Donaldson a little bit of praise in the last episode for a nice start to the season.
Yeah.
However, he left Wednesday's game with right hamstring tightness, and he could possibly end up on the IL. A little bit disappointing. Just for the sole purpose of I was really looking forward to seeing like what Donaldson could do being healthy this season. And also we already saw like his defense was really solid to start the year as well, even though his bat wasn't that great. But now do you think with the injury to Donaldson, let's say it does land him on the IL, do you think that kind of spells for an Oswald Peraza call up? Maybe like make him the third baseman or you put him at second, shift DJ to third? Like, what are you looking at there?
Yeah, so I actually don't think it's that much of a foregone conclusion like a lot of people are assuming it to be. Now, to be clear, we don't know exactly if Donaldson is headed for the IL as of this recording, but the indications kind of suggest he will be. So let's just assume that's the case. You still, like, you have a set infield. I mean, if anything, you're kind of like, this is what we talked about as to why the 5 infielders for 4 spots won't be that big a deal because somebody's going to get hurt. It'll work itself out. In a way, it kind of just worked itself out. So if you bring Oswald Peraza back up, like you're kind of, all right, we're getting right back into that logjam. We're trying to work guys in, which definitely works. But I wonder, Aaron Hicks is on the roster. You have the 4 infielders that can play those spots. The DH spot, Stanton can, he'll play a few days in right field. I wouldn't be shocked if the Yankees still prefer to keep Peraza down in AAA to get him as many everyday at-bats as possible, while I think we might see a lot of Aaron Hicks until Bader comes back. I think that could be what's going to happen here. A lot in left field with Stanton DHing. You could also see him DHing too, I guess. But if I had to guess, gun to my head, dude, I don't think this means Peraza's getting called up. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I don't think you're crazy at all. And I think the people who think it's a foregone conclusion, I think they're the ones who are kind of crazy just for the sole purpose of everything you just said. The Yankees already had somewhat of a logjam in the infield, and now this kind of just like wipes out one of the pieces of competition. And now your infield is kind of set, right? Like barring any other injuries, you're looking at Rizzo at first, Gleyber at second, Volpe at short, DJ at third. That's what
and also let's not forget. I mean, I mentioned Hicks. that also could come into play with, they still consider Oswaldo Cabrera an infielder. So you have him as well and IKF on the roster. I further convincing myself, I don't think Peraza is getting called up. And also, let's not forget, didn't have a good spring. What did we hear before the opening roster announcements were made? Boone kind of said Peraza didn't look great and that he needed like a little more, I don't think he used seasoning was the word, or like that he was pressing a little bit, whatever it was. They said he wasn't ready. So if he's down in AAA, like, do you want to call him right back up after a couple day games down there to be a starting guy for the Yankees? I think he can handle it, but I wouldn't bank on it. I really wouldn't.
No, I agree. And I think the Yankees are still in a good spot right now. I think the only thing that makes me question where they are without Donaldson is like the DH situation now. Because like if you're throwing Stanton in the outfield, like who's being your DH? You don't really like have a certain guy, whether you go like Frenchie Cordero maybe, or you like DH Oswaldo, something down that alley. But it definitely hurts the lineup. No matter what way you want to put it, no matter how much you hate Josh Donaldson, losing his bat in the lineup, no matter what he's producing, it hurts the team for sure.
Not a devastating blow though. As much as
No. It's a
I'm
loss.
He looked good. Yeah, it's still not ideal. And I think there's probably gonna be people in the comments definitely that are gonna say, "Oh, this is a good thing." I'm not even gonna bash you for saying that because I get how you feel, but still though, like at least at this point, with hopes that he might, bounce back, and he hasn't looked horrible offensively. It's nice still to see his name in the lineup. So yeah. It's a blow, but I imagine probably maybe rest of April he'll be out, and then till then we'll also have Bader come back too. So
yeah. For all we know, he'll be in the lineup on Friday.
Probably. We just wasted 20 minutes talking about a segment. Yeah.
But yeah, before we get into topic number 3, want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, FOCO. They have all the best merchandise in the world, bro. Every coolest bobblehead that you could ever imagine they have. All the coolest Yankees merchandise they have. They have these beautiful hats, bro. You saw me wearing it on our season preview.
Yeah, bro. Why don't you turn it around? Jesus Christ. Yo, hats are nice, but let's not forget about the bobbleheads. And I want to shout out my boy. I'm sure, hopefully we'll talk about him later. Garrett Cole. Guys, go rep your ace. Put this on your wall, and Whitey Ford as well. They got every bobblehead that you could possibly imagine exists. Modern bobbleheads, old-fashioned bobbleheads. They got dope apparel. Check out my hat too. I personally think mine is nicer than Pat's. I've said it a lot. I'll say it again. Anything you could think of with a Yankee logo on it, FOCO probably has it. So guys, get decked out for the season, yo. Can't watch a game without a Yankee logo on you somewhere. So keep that in mind. FOCO.
What's the code, Dan?
I was about to tell them, but code Yankees Avenue for 15% off. Nice sweatshirt, by the way, Pat.
Thank you. Getting into topic number 3, Dan. You know how we said like Gleyber Torres was like the man of the hour? He's the man of the season so far. It's like a little reverse. Aaron Hicks. Yeah. Let's talk about him for a minute, because on Tuesday night, he endured some loud boos. Now, I will say, Yes Network, Amazon Prime, no matter who you want to blame this on, bro, they did Hicks so dirty by turning up the booze. Like, I don't know what the purpose of that is. They're like, yo, let's make this a little bit more evident.
So I think you're definitely not wrong. They absolutely cranked it up. But I think what happened, I noticed a little bit later, I think every time Kay was done with his initial call and whatever the play was, they were kind of going straight to field audio. We didn't notice it as much because the Yankees didn't score a run. Then, or at least till the DJ home or whatever happened. It was a pretty quiet game. So like the loudest moment was the Hicks boos. They cranked the shit out of it though. I will say you can't dispute they booed them. That was the loudest I've ever heard, dude. Not even saying the fact they turned it up. That was
but also you could hear the spike. Like, you know, like
you could, but you could hear it wasn't just a few people. Like a lot of times these boos will be like Judge and ALDS game 5, 2 people booed him. It's like, oh, Yankees Stadium booed Aaron Judge. No, this was the whole like encapsulation of Yankee Stadium, like audible loud boos. At least that's the way that I see it. But
regardless, yes. they spiked up the boos for sure. And now we're kind of asking the question, like, do we feel bad for Aaron Hicks? Like, it comes to a point where he's had less than 10 at-bats to start the season, hasn't been great, and Yankee fans have already like given up on giving him another shot, right? So where you kind of stand as far as like the Hicks train?
Man, we all know entering this season, obviously rooting for him to bounce back. I was saying to people, yo, don't boo him. Opening day, that's a fresh start. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think he was booed on like opening day introductions or anything like that. I'm pretty sure his first legitimate boo was after those comments. So I feel bad for him. I mean, no matter what, I mean, having 50,000 people boo on you, like that's got to be horrible, but it's kind of self-inflicted. I mean, we discussed it last week, but when you don't take the approach that IKF has taken about understanding like your place in the team, you're not a starter, but you want to be here. You want to be a Yankee. You want to win. If Aaron Hicks had just said that, I guarantee you that over 3 performance, Yeah, probably still a scatter of, some people get on him, but definitely not that loud. So I think it's like, yo, one, if you just were a better player, you wouldn't have to deal with this, but I'm not going to, baseball's tough. I'm not going to roast him for that. It's just the self-inflicted comments that he made that kind of make sense for me, man. And I feel like this marriage does have to end soon, because at some point it does make me think, how can you succeed under these conditions? Especially if you're only getting a start like once or twice a week, which does suck. I want to say that again. And yeah, facing closers all the time and pinch hit opportunities, like it's just not going to go well. It's just going to make you get booed more. I'm starting to think Aaron Hicks won't be a Yankee by the All-Star break.
Yeah, no,
I just don't think it's going to, I don't see how this continues. I don't see how he gets himself out of this hole.
I don't think that that's an insane take. And I think that this is a marriage that should have ended at the end of last season. Just when you were looking at, we're kind of picking up right where we left off last season, when the Hicks was just going through those defensive woes and he was just being ripped to shreds by Yankees fans every time he would come up to bat. I don't think that anything has changed from last season, even though we were really hopeful that it would. And at this point, it kind of just feels like the Yankees are setting him up for failure. And the way I look at it is the Yankees are doing no one any service by continuing to play him. Obviously, I think we're at the point where I don't know if he's going to succeed in New York at this point. Obviously, the fans aren't necessarily open to it. In order for Aaron Hicks to win back the fans, he would have to go on a 10 home run month, something ridiculous, bro.
He needs another Astros 3-run homer, dude, because that was the one thing that saved him last year. If you remember, I mean, he had that homer and then the next day made a great catch. Very quickly, you get the fans back on your side. But it's not, I don't even think it's a thing where, say he goes 1 for 4 tomorrow with a solo home run. I don't even think that's going to be a thing to where, all right, the next day he's not going to get booed for striking out. It's he's either got to have a huge moment and then sustain success from that point forward, or I feel like he's kind of beat, dude. Because I don't think I would be able to perform under that pressure, bro. Obviously I don't know what goes inside a baseball player's head, but you're trying to do so much all the time to shut people up, and it's just going to lead to you probably striking out. And then shout out Judge, by the way. That was a good moment when he came over.
Yes.
Captain,
but that's something that we've seen very often with Judge, when he comes in, blocks the camera for someone who isn't really doing too hot. But just going back to the Hicks thing, it's really difficult for me to not feel bad for the dude. I mean, I'm sure that there's so many Yankee fans watching this right now being like, oh, I don't feel bad, he sucks, yada yada yada. At the end of the day, I'm remembering this dude's a human. And you'd be stupid to believe that he doesn't want to succeed, right? I mean, just based on his comments, you can feed that he wants to succeed in New York. Now, whether or not he's capable of doing so at this point, I'm not sure. But I definitely feel bad for him. I mean, I can understand the argument when you say oh, if he doesn't want to be booed, he shouldn't suck. All right, but dude, at some point, maybe he's just not getting the job done, and now the boos aren't making it any better, right? So I'm not saying the Yankee fans shouldn't boo him, but I'm saying at some point I do feel bad for the dude, right? How could you not? Unless you just have no heart.
I'm with you. No, I'm definitely with you. And people bring up oh, how can you feel bad for a guy that's making $10 million? It's man, I don't want to have to explain myself on this, but it really doesn't. First of all, at some point, once you're sustained wealth, you're comfortable, that's kind of your line of happiness, right? I mean, whether you make 5, 10, 20, whatever it is, I mean, all right, cool. This guy's not worried about eating food at night. He has a roof over his head. Fine. But still, at that point, you're just a person. And can you imagine yourself going through all that? Yeah, we want him to succeed. And there's definitely moments where I think booing is called for. And I don't even really have a problem with the booing per se, but everything surrounding Hicks, man, he's kind of, I feel set to fail from the get-go. And that's not our fault as fans. I don't think it's his fault. I just think it's something we got to recognize. This isn't working anymore. Hasn't been for a while. Got to move on.
I disagree when you say that, though. I do think a lot of it is on the fans, because this is my one problem with the Yankees fan base as a whole, right? It seems like every single year they pick one guy, and that one guy just becomes this scapegoat for all their frustrations regarding the New York Yankees. Whether that is Gary Sanchez, like it was in 2020, whether that's Joey Gallo, like it was last year, whether that's a Sonny Gray or an Aaron Hicks, it always seems like Yankees fans pick one guy who just isn't really doing too hot, and they just pound the dude until he.
What do those guys all have in common, though? Horrible, disappointing seasons. Yeah, but that's one of those things where that's the way it's always been. And is that right? Probably not. But it's nothing new in New York. It's nothing new.
No, I know.
I just think I don't think anybody can really be blamed. I just think you got to recognize it's not working out. And who knows? Like I said in the topic,
it's not working out on Hicks, either way. That's the way I'm looking.
And I don't think anybody needs to really be blamed. I mean, obviously Hicks puts in the work. Hicks wants to succeed. That's another thing. I mean, Like, no shit, this guy wants. Like, do you think he's enjoying this? No, But like I said in the beginning, though, he may get some playing time over the next couple of weeks. So for all we know, like consistent at bats, maybe he does well. I mean, there were 1 to 2 week like little stints where he was solid last year, like above average. And for all you know, maybe he'll do that in these next coming weeks. But
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him, man. I really am.
Same.
But I think it's going to end up be me rooting for him on another team. As in Yankees, I think will DFA him and then somebody will pick him up on waivers, I guess. But
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, like even if that does happen, I wouldn't be shocked if he plays well for another team. I mean, look at what
no,
Gallo's
he'll
doing
go
in
to
Minnesota.
he'll
Joey
go
Gallo's
to he'll go to Oakland, play 150 games, and he'll probably have like a 780 OPS and be like a 3-WAR outfielder. I'm sure of it, probably.
and I wouldn't be shocked. But I to kind of wrap this all up, I 100% agree with you. I found myself the other day watching the game, like being like disappointed when I saw him get out because I'm rooting for Aaron Hicks so hard at this point, just because I want to see him do well, not only for the Yankees' sake, but for his own sake, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I
no, I
want to
know.
see this man do well. I want to see a nice feel-good comeback story. And I just want to see him like do it, bro. It would be
Yeah.
such a nice story.
Last thing, kind of related, kind of not. What do you think Gallo's reception is going to be when he comes back? Like,
I think he should be cheered.
well, I don't think he should be cheered. I think it would be so awesome and so nice if for some reason Yankee Stadium collectively agreed to do that. Not going to happen. I think he gets booed. Not like viciously loud. I think you'll hear, if you're going to hear something, it'll be boos. Like, I don't think you're going to hear, it'd be awesome if everybody gave, say for some reason he got a standing ovation. Like, that would probably bring a
It
fucking
would be
tear to
really
my eye.
nice. I mean,
It's not happening though. Let's not get excited.
I don't think it's like us being soft. I think it's the fact that like, yo, like you have to look at it from like a normal person's perspective. Joey Gallo as a human being is a great dude, right? I don't think there's any denying that. I mean, I don't know him personally. Yeah, sure. I don't know him personally, but based on interviews and all that, he seems like a great person. Also, he's a great baseball player. He just didn't play well in New York. And when it comes down to that, he's playing well for another team now. We want to see him do well. Do we want to see him do well against us? No, but do I want to see him do well in general? Hell yeah. So if I see him at Yankee Stadium, I'm giving him a cheer, bro. Shout out to Joey Gallo. It's as simple as that.
I would probably do the same. I would cheer him.
There you go. But yeah, getting into topic number 4 here, Dan, let's say one storyline that we're not talking about enough so far this season.
All right, man. For me, there's a couple options, so I shouldn't say it's easy, but the one I'm most excited to talk about, DJ LeMahieu is back. That much is clear to me. I mean, the stats in the year, really solid, 300 average OPS over 1 dot, but it's not even just that. It's every ball he's hitting is hard. The outs he's hitting are hard. There was a couple balls the other day that I thought were gone. He just hit them, like dead center and left center field, but he looks good, man. And I want to emphasize it. Was the second most productive hitter on the Yankees last year until he hurt his toe in August. He had a 140 OPS plus, was second on the team behind Judge and above Rizzo. So if we get this guy back, and Volpe's struggling right now, who gives a shit? But we have aspirations of him being our leadoff hitter. You get this DJ LeMahieu in like the 5 or the 6 hole. Holy shit, bro. Very honestly, like this almost has me equally as excited as Gleyber, if not more, because they're both so important. But DJ, like, Gleyber, the floor you could say is like you're at least going to get, I don't know, like you probably see him running the 20 homers this year no matter what. But dude, DJ last year when he had that toe injury, he was like Gleyber with the trade rumors, just as bad, really. So like if we had that going this year, like we'd be in a really tough spot. On the flip side, we're getting like, yo, this is DJ LeMahieu. So 6 games in, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the reemergence of DJ is huge for the Yankees lineup. And it kind of just provides the Yankees with a little bit more depth, right? I mean, when you have DJ leading it off and then Judge too, I mean, when they're both on their A game, that's one of the best 1-2 combos in all of baseball, no? So if we could listen, this is kind of what we said all offseason, right? We don't need 2019, 2020 DJ LeMahieu.
No.
I'm not expecting that at this point. However, if you get some even middle between that insane,
what he was the first half last year,
sure. I'll take that. Give me like, bro, bat like 285 and I'll love you like you're my firstborn. So yeah, no, I think that DJ is definitely just I think by like June, July, he's just gonna like fly under the radar and we're just gonna be like, yeah, that's what DJ's doing.
That's kind of like, when DJ's at his best. Also, one thing on DJ, like I kind of put it all together today. I'm watching him at second base. He has the funniest like celebration. You ever notice he like leans over while he's clapping? Like if you ever look at a picture of DJ celebrating, he's like leaning over and he's like, look it up. I'm telling you. Maybe I'll put it in the B-roll too if you guys
do it. Yeah.
behave.
No. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Who's your guy, Punk?
They always behave. But my storyline, maybe like people are talking about it, but I feel like we haven't talked about it too much. Garrett friggin' Cole. Dan, I think, listen, we both said this coming into the season. I think he's going to cruise to the Cy Young Award this year. And he's through his first 2 starts. I mean, he's kind of proved it tremendously. I just don't see
7.3 ERA.
What is it? 0.73?
7.3 and 12 1/3 innings with 19 strikeouts.
He's given up what? 1 earned run in his first.
And that was
starts?
BS, bro. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
I
So
know.
he has I think there's a pitch in that at bat too that should have been called a strike that wasn't. But anyways, the pitch clock violation, man, that being what ended his day. That was tough. Gets the walk on that, and then that run comes in to score. That sucked. But yeah, regardless though, stats are good. Stats are very good. He's looked great, man. And you know what they say? Or some people are suspecting that he's better without the long hair. And I didn't think about this, but it could be true. Nonstop last year, he's always tucking it in. And I get it, bro. You see me do it sometimes on the show, just fixing my stuff.
Same.
Like between every pitch, he would, tuck in his hair, just like do a little or grab it or something. Maybe there's a little something. I'm just kidding. But
so it's like a reverse Gallo, like Gallo
maybe
with a beard. Cole.
I think if Cole doesn't have to think, when Cole's not thinking as much and he's on his head, which is a fact, he's a better pitcher. Maybe the hair's part of that. I mean, I'm kind of just playing here, but
no,
I like 2023 Garrett Cole.
I think if you want to use that logic, like Cole's better when he doesn't have to worry about anything and he's just pitching. I think the pitch clock has a lot to do with that, right? I mean, we're talking about a guy who's a literal machine. I think the fact that like Cole can just like fire, doesn't have to like think in his head at all about like, yo, if I give up a home run here, I'm going to be pissed.
I'm curious what his thoughts are on the pitch clock because he seemed like he was quite pissed. I'm not sure if he was like pitched at the clock today or if he was pitched at because Trevino and Cole, one of them should have just called timeout, by the way, when that thing was up. And at some point, I'm real quick on the pitch clock. Like it's gonna fall on the players for that stuff. Like, especially when we say like a month in, it's like, yo, you've been using this for quite some time now.
Yeah.
A week in, it's fine, but it's like, yo, if this happens a month from now, like I'm not gonna be blaming Rob Manfred. It's like, yo, like, do you need to go to like monkey school or something? Like this is pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah, no, but ignoring like why Cole is so good, I think I just want to acknowledge the fact that he's been electric to start the season so far, and I don't think we could have really asked for any more. And this is the definition of what we needed from Garrett Cole to start the season, especially with all the injuries to the starting pitchers. Bro, Garrett Cole's just that guy. There's no other way of putting it. I love him with all my heart. Also, did you see the video of him like doing his best Nestor impression the other day?
Yeah, dude.
We've seen a much goofier side to Cole this year.
I know he's an amusing dude, Cole. And I also want to point out that's typical Ace stuff that we saw today. Like, yeah, I was joking around calling it a non-mathematical must-win, which is like a phrase I use often. But quickly we could have gone from we were 4-1 to or 3-1, whatever it was. Won the first game of the series, then lost game 2. Shit, all of a sudden we could lose a series. That kind of flips the vibes a little bit. What does Cole do? Outduels Aaron Nola and just completely shoves, leads us to a win. Like that's to me, like if I talk about an ace or think about an ace, I think of like prime CC Sabathia. That's kind of stuff he would do. Not that, a 1-game losing streak is enough to say, oh, we need a stopper, but that's to get you back on track right away. Cole's pitching. Cool. We're good to go. Let's go into Baltimore with another win. And that's what happened, man. I'm digging him, bro. And I saw somebody calling him fat the other day. Like legitimately mad at him, like not like jokingly saying like, oh, he looks like a dad, add a few pounds. I'm just thinking like, bro, who gives a fuck what Garrett Cole looks like? Because if he's pitching, if he's a dog like he is, he can look like the biggest dad in the world, Pat, and that's what he looks like right now.
I also think the short hair makes him look a little bit
I think he looks in a way. I think he looks like so like bad in a way that it's like good, not bad. I don't want to say that, but he just looks hilarious to me, bro. Like he just literally looks like
he's good, bro.
He
I
looks
love
like he just
Garrett
picked
Cole.
up his kid from school and then showed up for a 7:05 first pitch and is gonna go dominate the lineup. Hi, Marley. All right, question 5.
Love that, man. Yeah, Dan, let's talk about the Jonas
Never
Brothers
mind,
a little
actually.
bit.
Why did I sound any
Let's
bit
talk
excited
about
that?
Have you been to the year 3000?
No, and let me just ask the question. I haven't been to the year 3000. I was going to go off on a rant already about the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, no, go on. But,
well, I was first
preface real quick.
Okay.
So the Jonas Brothers are performing at Yankee Stadium in August. In anticipation for that to kind of like build the announcement, whatever. They had them in the Yes booth. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't hate it. Dude, we've had so much garbage in the Yes booth over the past couple of years, from doctors to the mayor. Dude, if you want to
all garbage, bro. It's all garbage.
Okay, but they're gonna do it anyway. So like, who cares if they have the Jonas Brothers in there for 3 minutes? Like they do it anyway with more useless people. It was kind of fun.
They're gonna do it anyway, bro. It's like, all right, I'm gonna stab you in the chest. It's gonna happen anyway. Just ignore it. Like, bro, okay.
No, stab me in the leg. Don't stab me in the chest. Stabbing me in the chest.
Here's the thing.
Like Billy Crystal.
I don't care who it is, and I wanted to preface it by saying I like the Jonas Brothers. I actually have a few of their songs in their playlist. I love "Burning Up."
Name your favorite song.
"Burning Up" is probably up there. "SOS" is up there. I did like "Sucker for You," although I did get tired of it. I also like "Love Bug." That's a good song as well. But
you want to go?
Oh, I think you want to fight. I'll fucking drop you, bro. No, I'm not going there. Nothing is important. Here's my point. I don't care if Austin Butler's in the booth, the actor that played Elvis, who I'm like a big fan of. If he's in the booth, I'm putting that shit on mute. I'm watching a baseball game, and this is my same problem with Mayor Eric Adams, as they always say, Dr. Fauci, the Jonas Brothers. Once again, I don't have a problem with. It's like, dog, I'm trying to watch a ball game, especially with these pitch clock rules. We don't get all the time. So next thing you know, fucking the Jonas Brothers are calling Anthony Volpe single. And what I was saying the whole time, like going into that, bro, I was like, I swear to God, if he hits his first homer here, dude, that's it. That's it. And we're in the Sterling booth the inning before too, bro. And it's just like, I wonder how that went over. I didn't listen to it, but like, I'm not saying it was awkward between them and Kay. I didn't really know because I had it on mute. But I bet, bro, like, how did that conversation
Did you actually
go over?
have it on mute?
I listened to the first little bit when it was like just Nick Jonas was talking and he was like taking up the whole floor. And I was like, man, I don't care for this crap. So yeah, I put it on mute.
Last thing on the Jonas Brothers. I think we could both agree. Nick Jonas is a good looking dude.
Oh, I think Joe Jonas is probably the better looking dude.
That's not. Let us know in the comments who's the best looking Jonas brother.
Okay, dude. Whatever you want. Yo, that can do it for this episode. Make sure you guys do the giveaway. So like, retweet, follow Yankees Avenue Show. There'll be a tweet up when this episode drops. Also, shout out Foco again. Code Yankees Avenue, 15% off. Remember, schedule is a little bit different these days. So we're doing it kind of based off after the series ends. So I guess we'll be back Sunday nights.
Sunday
night. Yeah, word. Or
Easter
after
Sunday?
the Sundays. Yeah. So, I mean, that we can figure out. I mean, Sunday night or... Dude, I feel like a fucking juvenile right now. Like, my parents are going away for the weekend. Just going away for the weekend. Like, my girlfriend. But, like, I am going to be just alone with my dog.
You want to come here?
I'm not complaining about that. Like, I am so stoked. You don't even understand. Like, it's just me, MLB, and the Yankees. And my boys. Like, I'm chilling. So, but, yo, we'll figure it out. Stay tuned for that. Socials, Pat, or anything you want to say?
Yeah, no. Follow me on socials, TikTok and Twitter at Unhinged Patrick, Instagram at True Hennessy. Also, subscribe to Better BETR on YouTube. I'm going live on there every single day.
Every day.
Every day.
That's pretty legit. All right, yo. Well, let's go Yankees for the Orioles series, by the way. Kind of excited for that. Grayson Rodriguez just made his debut. Interesting. But, yo, all right. See you guys on whenever the hell. Let's go Yankees. Peace.
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine.